Hi everybody, this is Beth and I am back today with my Kilopad project share from May. For those of you who are new to my channel, at the beginning of 2018 I made a goal to use up a whole paper pad each month because I'd become a paper hoarder and I had all these pads and loose paper that I kept saving for the special moment and would never use them because it was just never quite a special enough moment. So I decided to use up a pad each month doing different projects. And then I wanted to share this with you all, my projects, because one, I wanted to give others that are in my same situation some ideas on how to use up your paper as well, like different ways that you can use it up. And two, if you are new to paper crafting, wanted to give you some ideas on how you could get started. Some of my projects are fairly simple, some are a little more complicated. But just wanted to give you kind of a jumping point to start from. And third, I realized that I do these to hold myself accountable. Not that you're all out there counting the days, knowing that it's been a month and I haven't posted one of these project shares, but it does keep me accountable and it makes me feel like someone is expecting me to do it. So thank you all for holding me accountable indirectly. And I do want to thank everyone. I've had some really great comments and questions and feedback, and I thank you all for that. But to get started, I chose to do, it's a Craftsmith pad from Michaels, and it's Natural Luxury. There were 48 pages, and I don't know, you can probably never really see the full detail on camera, but it was beautiful creams and whites and grays and blacks. There's some gold detail in here, and some of the pages have a little bit of embossing detail. There were 4 pages that had cut-aparts on them, 2 pages of each design. There were 2 different designs, so 2 pages of each of those designs. And then there were 4 pages that had like a 12 by 12 layout of words. It was, again, 2 different designs, and I will show you how I used those in a little bit. But this project took me about 6 weeks of working on it kind of off and on, so this was one of my longer projects. And I do have to admit, by the end, I kind of had to take a break because I was ready to move on. But to get started, just to give you a little bit of detail how I start a project, I go through, once I look at the paper pad, I kind of see what it reminds me of, and I don't know if it was the timing of it being May or if it was just the paper itself, but it made me think of weddings and graduations. So with that in mind, I kind of have a quick little list of notes that I jotted down of things that I might want to do with this pad, like albums and certain cards, gift card holders, coasters, things like that. Now, I don't necessarily do everything that I write down on my idea list. It's just kind of a place for me to start to give me some inspiration on where I might want to go. But with this pad, I decided to start with a wedding album. So I have tons of post-bound albums in my stash. So I went a little bit of old school with this project and used like a 8x8 inch post-bound album. And I tried to keep the embellishments in here fairly flat, just because since you do have page protectors, and usually with a wedding you have a lot of photos, I didn't want it to be so thick that you couldn't fit additional photos, because I know you're limited. You can't have all the fold-out pages in a post-bound album with page protectors that you can in some of like the hidden hinge albums that are popular now. So what I did is I cut down a tab page that fits in between the 2 pages in the page protector, and I just used my envelope punch board to kind of create the tab at the top. And this is the page is about 7 by 8, almost 7 by 8 inches. So it is big enough to fit about 2 4x6 photos, or you could do one 5x7, or even one 4x6 and some journaling. But both sides are usable. I did not embellish them so that people could use them however they wanted. And I do have 10 of those. So like they are in between each of the pages. And there are 10 page protectors in here, so 20 pages plus the 10 tabs. So I figured that's a pretty good amount of photos for a wedding album. And again, I tried to keep it fairly simple, flat embellishments. Most of my embellishments are cardstock die cuts that I cut, or fussy cuts of flowers from the paper in the pad. And I have a beautiful assistant with me. My 7-year-old daughter Ellie is helping me out today since it is summer break. And I will do kind of a more detailed share of the album as well in a separate video, and I will link that down below. But most of my pages have a single 4x6 photo mat, but I did do a couple of pages that are, you could fit 2 4x6s or a 5x7. And I tried to kind of vary the orientation of the photo mat. Some are horizontal, some are vertical. And I didn't add a lot of titles or labels on the page. I wanted to keep it fairly versatile for whoever got them. Like there are a couple pages where I have just married or tie the knot. But other than that, I tried to keep it fairly versatile for whoever got the album. They could label them for whatever event it was. So that was the first project that I did. And kind of keeping along that line in scrapbook mode, I made 2 5x7 mini albums. And these are very simple, like little to no embellishments. It's mainly paper. And I saw this idea in 2 different places. Tamika at Scrap the World and Amber at Lyric Lover 810 have both done these as a way to use up their paper and kind of as a quick project to use up the paper. And also, if you sell your scrapbooks, it's always nice to have various price points for your scrapbooks, because not everyone can afford to or wants to pay, you know, high end for a scrapbook. Where if you have something fairly simple like this, it makes it more affordable for everyone. So the only really words or embellishments that I did were on this title page on the very front cover. This was one of the cut aparts on the cut apart pages. And then I have a few fussy cut flowers that I layered on there. And again, to get the album pages, I used 100-pound off-white cardstock, cut them down so that they made a 5x7 card. And then I just I would attach 2, you can see the best way to see this, but I attached 2 together here to connect them. And then when I connected them, I just did adhesive on the top and bottom and then along the inside so that I could have a pocket open on the end. And then I did these little card inserts, which these are measure about 4x6. And again, I just covered them with paper. And then each one has these little, and this was really fun. And again, it was a super quick project. And another reason that I kind of left it blank is sometimes people can have, you know, different uses for their albums. Maybe they really like the album, but they didn't necessarily want a wedding. You know, they don't have any wedding pictures to put on it, but they have engagement pictures or pictures of family or friends. So that's another bonus sometimes of having some non-specific themed albums. So that's it. Super simple project. And again, I made 2 of these that were exactly the same. The next thing I tackled, and this will kind of tell you how I used, remember I said there were some pages that had a 12x12 layout of words. And I think Craftsmith for a while there like made some that you could just, the intention was you could use them as wall art. And while I loved the messages on them, I didn't necessarily, the color scheme didn't go with my house. So I wanted to still try and use the words. So in this case, I cut down, I kind of butchered this particular page. I loved them. It was something about like, loved you yesterday. I don't remember the exact wording, but so I kind of rearranged in it to a phrase that I love, which is love you still, always have, and always will. So again, I kind of cut those out. And I actually did this one at the end. And so a lot of my embellishments are scraps that I use to cut down into die cuts. The journaling spot that I couldn't use really anywhere else. And then some other scraps. So, but this is a different way to look at those pages that you don't think you can use. I know a lot of people will just turn them over and use them for the white side. And I did do that for some of my stamp sentiments, because there was a lot of this page. I cut out the words, and then I fussy cut out some of the flowers. But then there were still some spots that I couldn't use. So if it was a solid color, I would die cut some flowers or hearts out of it. Otherwise, I would turn it over and use the other side to stamp on it. So just a different way that you can use those 12 by 12 layout type papers. This was another one, like this was the whole page. They kind of had these spread out, dream until your dreams come true. And then there was a lot of gray, just kind of more gray flourish all around it. So this made me think of my youngest daughter. When she would sleep, she always looked so, well, both of my daughters, when they slept, they looked angelic. Not so angelic anymore, are you? But so I just cut out these words, turned the two smaller ones into a banner, and then just kind of built a page around dream. This was a cut apart that I punched out with a circle punch, and then just added some punched hearts. So I did 2 of those, one for my album and one for hers. Also, in the page that had the like love you always, they had these beautiful gold flowers. And for some reason, like when I fussy cut those out, I just pictured them like as the main focal point of a smaller project. So I did just Post-it note holders. So this is a really simple version. And this is just a template that I have that, you know, I cut a piece of off-white 100-pound cardstock down to like 3 1/4 by 7 1/2, I think. And then just score it at 3 1/4 from both ends. And then just cut some of the scraps of pattern paper that I had down to 3 1/8 by 3 1/8, and then a small 1/2 inch strip for the top. And then I backed these gold flowers on some like a white scalloped or off-white scalloped circle just to make it stand out from that paper. But I just thought those looked very elegant and pretty. Next project I did was a gift card holder. And this was a file from on my silhouette. And it's the kind where you can slide the gift card into this little pocket right here, which is easier said than done one-handed. But and this gray paper is actually what was left of the dream until your dreams come true. It was like what was surrounding the words. But I did 2 of these, and then this beautiful adventure tag was a cutout from one of the cut up pages. And I put that on there because I thought it could have different meanings for people. Might be kind of versatile. You could use it for wedding, new job, shower. So I tried to leave it to be kind of multi-purpose. And then the same with these, I did 2 bottle gift tags, which were also an image in or a file on my silhouette. And I just did a simple congratulations sentiment on here. And the neat thing about this is it's also a gift card holder. So if someone's getting married, or if they have a new job or a new house or graduating, you know, you can give them a bottle of champagne and then a gift card, you know, for a nice dinner, or if it's a new house, to Lowe's, you know, something that they can use on their new house. And then this time around, I did something different. I've done these for other occasions, but I haven't done them on a pad kill yet. But I did some Mr. and Mrs. blocks. And all these they're 2x4 pine 2x4s that we cut, sanded, and then stained. and then I applied the paper with Mod Podge, and then did vinyl letters cut from my silhouette to say Mr. and Mrs. And I thought this would be cute for a wedding. You know, it could go on the head table, or it could go on the cake table. You can stack them like this, or you can lay them out, spread them out even a little bit. But I did save some extra paper to do a couple more of these, because these will be for sale in our Etsy shop. But I just thought that was a cute idea. And I also got almost 100 cards, but I'm going to tackle those in part 2 of this video, because it's already getting to be a little long and I don't want to make it a super long video. So to summarize, can I have that please? Out of this 48 pages from this Natural Luxury Craftsmith paper pad, I got 2 mini albums that are 5x7. I got 96 greeting cards, an 8x8 scrapbook, wedding scrapbook, 2 bottle gift tags, 2 gift card holders. I have enough paper to do 3 of those Mr. and Mrs. block sets. And one thing I did forget to show you is I did, with some of my scraps, I did some 3x3 cards, like mini note cards that can be used as gift tags on bags or presents. I got 6 of those. I did 2 of each of the designs. And I got 2 Post-it note holders, and then 3 of the 12x12 scrapbook pages. So again, it took me a long time, but I feel it was worth it, and it was rewarding. And some of this will be going for sale in our Etsy shop or our craft shows. The gift card holders, the scrapbooks, the Post-it pads, the blocks, and then some of the cards will be for sale. Some of them will go into my personal stash, and then the rest will be sent to Cards for Soldiers, which is an organization that I support that collects handmade cards and sends them overseas to soldiers. So thank you everybody for your time today. I hope some of you found this helpful. Again, stay tuned for part 2, which will have more detail of the cards and how I use the scraps. But if you did find this video helpful, if you liked it, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, because I have videos that come out at least once a month with my project shares, and sometimes more often when I have other interesting projects or ideas to share with you as well. But I thank everybody so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.